What's going on YouTube? This is Bruce with Bruce Custom Motors. Welcome to another video. Alright, to get straight to it guys, this video is going to be about understanding your car, understanding how you can tell if your car is healthy, and how beneficial it is for you to be able to read and monitor your car, and the key signs to show you that your car is healthy and that your car is running at its optimum power at all times. With this new technology that they have, you don't have to dig into the engine to find out what's wrong with your car. It gives you a report card, it gives you a chart right in front of your face. So I'm gonna go over the 3 top things to tell if your car is running efficiently and if it's giving you the most power that you possibly can get. So without further ado, here we go. Alright guys, so the first thing that we're going to do to make sure our car is giving us the optimum power that we need, and also to ensure that our car is healthy, is going to be right over here. This is going to be air-fuel ratio. So what air-fuel ratio is it's the level of your air versus your gas. So to kind of explain that, your car has a certain amount of air that comes in through your turbo, that goes into the combustion chamber, and then it also has a certain amount of gas that your MAF, which is your mass airflow sensor. So your mass airflow sensor is going to be the sensor that tells your car how much air is coming into your car, and it tells the computer to match it with the fuel. If you have the right amount of air and fuel in your car, then you're going to be in a position to where your car is going to run perfect. You're going to have the right explosion that you need in your combustion chamber. If you have too much air going in and not enough fuel, you're going to be running lean, and that's really bad for the engine. Running lean can cause your engine to blow up. In fact, most engines blow up when you dyno or when you're boosting your car if you have too much air and not enough fuel in the engine. That's what you call running lean. And sometimes you can even have a lot of white smoke. If your car has too much fuel and not enough air, then you're going to be running rich, and that's where you get the black smoke coming out the back of your car. So as you can see from my demonstration, the magic number for air fuel ratio is going to be 14.7. So if you are not at 14.7, sometimes when you idle or you speed up a bit, there might be a mild fluctuation, and that's fine. But if your car is not averaging around 14.7, your car is not giving you the best results that you need, and you could potentially run into running rich, black, smoky, oil residue spark plugs and start fouling out or misfiring, or you can run lean and have too much air going into your car. So that's just a real quick, easy hack just to show you how healthy your car is. So, you know, you want to definitely make sure that you look at the air fuel ratio, which is right here. I'm using Torque app. This is a very handy tool to have. Of course, with Torque app, all you need is an OBD port, and you can get one. I would say as cheap as $20, because you don't want to get the cheap ones because the cheap ones don't work correctly. So yeah, that's going to be an OBD in order to run the Torque app. All right guys, so the next thing that you want to look at is going to be your coolant temp. Just like give you guys a little pull. All right, so the next thing you want to check is going to be your coolant temperature. As you can see right here, that's going to be your coolant temp. All right, now the coolant temp is so imperative and important to your car, because if your coolant level gets too high, I would say roughly if your coolant level gets above 210 you know, starting at 205, we have a problem. You do not want your coolant temp to raise up. Your coolant should be a steady temperature in your vehicle. If your coolant temp is raising up, the signs could be: one, your car at this point is probably running too hot. It needs to cool down. Two, another thing that can happen when you have a high coolant temp, you could have a potential water pump issue, or your engine is not circulating its power, or your engine is not circulating its coolant system correctly in your car. That can lead to catastrophic damage in your vehicle. So please, the second thing to always make sure your car is running optimum at all times is the coolant temp. So far we have the air fuel ratio that's driven by the mass airflow sensor, and then we have the coolant temperature. So once again, coolant temperature is so important. The coolant temperature. So yeah, that's the second thing that you want to kind of a quick observation of how your car is doing without having to dig or deep dive into it. That's what a lot of these gauges are for. You know, back in the days when people had gauges, it was to make it look, your car look cool. But in actuality, these gauges are really just solely to let you know, monitor your vehicle. Like if you're doing runs, you're going around the track and you see your numbers fluctuating or changing, that lets you know you need to stop before you damage your car. And it kind of gives you an observation of how your car is doing, just kind of like a human checking their blood pressure. So yeah, that's going to be the second thing that you want to look at. So the last thing is going to be where you having to switch gears, your transmission. Is going to be the transmission temperature. This really changes that much. It's almost stagnant between 200 and maybe 204. If you're switching gears, really, so if you're driving and you see this temperature raising, that can be a potential warning sign that one, your transmission is going to slip, you're driving your car too hard, or if you just have a high number in general, you could potentially need a transmission flush, or your transmission fluid is not lubricating or cooling the system properly, or there's too much friction in your transmission due to metal particles, etc. So you always want to ensure that this number pretty much kind of fluctuates and stays the same, and it doesn't rise, especially if you're starting to get above, like, you know, let's say if you're doing some pulls. If you're not doing pulls, if you're going above like 210, that's something to look at. If you're taking it on the track, you can lean upwards to probably 220. But yeah, this is definitely, you know, of course it's because you're running the track really hard. So yeah, this is definitely something you want to look at if you are just trying to see if your car is running healthy and optimum. You know, like I said, these are just my 3 favorite things out of a million things that I do and that I use on a daily basis to ensure that my car is running the way it should. As you guys can see, on my car right now, I do have the certain graphs I have right now is I have transmission, air fuel ratio, my rev range, my time in advance. I have my math, my vacuum, which is also another important one. Just understanding and making sure your car is vacuumed to ensure if you have a leak or you underboost, overboost. My intake temperature. This is not with my water meth. As you can see, I have my water meth off right now. Then you're gonna have your fuel rail pressure, and that's just to make sure that I'm getting the right amount of fuel, so I won't lean my car out. And then I have my coolant temperature. So those are all the things that I like. Of course, there's a million things you can monitor. I definitely recommend to get Torque app to ensure that you can monitor your car the way you need. They have a free version, and you can get an OBD for like, you know, between 9 and 20 bucks. I have a VP. Mine is a little bit more expensive because I like it because it's more accurate than the other ones. But yeah, guys, I just wanted to share this with you guys. I appreciate all the love from all the new subscribers, the old subscribers. The videos are going to be coming. My next coming. I'm going to probably set up. I'm going to probably do a couple of videos pretty soon, utilizing my I'm probably gonna use a couple of videos really soon utilizing my draggy, so look out for that. Draggy stuff coming soon. Thank you guys so much for, make sure you like and subscribe. This is Bruce with Bruce Custom Motors. Peace, I'm out.